Welcome to Civilian Jeeps. I'm Jake, and today we're in Burrells Ford Rd, Georgia, and we're specifically on the Georgia Traverse. Now, I've never been on the Georgia Traverse before, I've just seen it online. Thought it'd be something cool to check out with my LJ and my tent trailer, and I got my buddy Zach back there in his TJ. So this is a TJ trip, and I've got, if you can see back behind my back, I don't think you can, but I got my TJ shirt on. Well, we just made some breakfast and we're about to pack up, and Burrells Ford Rd is on the beginning of the Georgia Traverse. We got here late last night, went about a mile down the road, found this campsite, and this is the official beginning of the Georgia Traverse. So stick around and let's see what we can get into. Well, we've left our campsite and we're still on Burrells Ford Rd, and so far it's been nothing more than just a Forest Service road. I think after this we're going to hit asphalt for just a small piece, and then we're on some trails pretty much I think most of the day. The only real issue I've had so far is on my trailer, my DC charger that charges my batteries back up while I'm driving. And besides solar, I do have solar, but it's so overgrown right through here, as you can see. Not overgrown, but it's just thick forest and vegetation that solar is really not going to do you much good. So I'm going down with my batteries since I've got the two fridges, and the only issue I have is my DC charger and my brake controller is not vibing together. My brake controller seems to be locking up my tires if I turn my DC on, and they're both red arc systems, so I'm not really sure why that is. So it's a little concerning as far as power wise, because I was really hoping to use the Jeep to power the battery banks in the trailers. So we're driving through Raven County, and you actually do go through a city on the Georgia Traverse in case you're needing gas. This is part of the purple part of the Georgia Traverse, and this is a decent sized little town. Quite a few little gas stations, some hotels, lodging, restaurants. So I mean, you're never just in the middle of nowhere, it seems. We've been traveling I think for about 30 miles so far. So off of Burrells Ford Rd, about 30 miles in, you run into a town in Raven County. I haven't been able to fly the drone much or get a lot of trail footage other than time lapse, because it's just, right now it's just a lot of driving on gravel roads. There's only been a few like really washed out areas. If you're wondering, my buddy Zach back there in the back, he's got 33-inch tires and he's doing this no problem. He did the washout no problem as well. The only thing is just this trailer. Now if you have a trailer and you want to do the Georgia Traverse, just make sure your trailer is capable. So now we're on a cyan portion of the trail. You can see it right there on the radio. And this trail is a little tighter, a little more technical. Oh, about to get smashed by a leaf or a stick. But a little more involved than the rest of the other trails. Not crazy, nothing crazy, just a little more overgrown. There's a little creek crossing. So there's stuff along those lines. Well, we've stopped for lunch alongside the road. This is a pavement portion of the trail. This is a little gravel parking lot. I've got my solar panels out trying to charge the battery box right here for the refrigerator, since the DC is not charging. Right now we're bringing in 335 watts, so that should charge it up here within an hour or two, because we've only used about 500 watts. Zach here is making a sandwich. That looks good. Anyway, we're gonna eat. We got a little spot over here in the shade. We just finished. We're probably 65% of our way to Helen, Georgia. That's where we'd like to end up tonight, close to Helen, Georgia. So we're driving through Charlie's Creek at the moment. I thought it was further on down the Georgia Traverse, but let's see if we can get Zach back there. Probably should have done a better job at filming this. This is like where everybody films. Get Zach back there crossing. Alright. Well, we made it through Charlie's Creek in the Jeeps. A little bit of a mud hole here. Well, Charlie's Creek started off with a pretty gnarly hill climb that was off camber. The trailer did okay and the LJ did okay, but it was extremely rutted out and got a lot of flex. I was just so focused on getting up it and not tipping over that I know my sway bars are still on. I haven't undone my sway bars, and the driver's side tire come off the ground, so that's how flexed out it was. But the trailer, I know, got pretty tipsy, but it did okay. But that was pretty gnarly. So for like an overland style trailer, now like for Windrock, or if I didn't have the trailer, that would be no big deal whatsoever. It's just towing that behemoth behind me is what gets me a little concerned sometimes. I think that if I didn't have that trailer, I would just absolutely blow through this. But it's just a little different when you're towing something. And this is really my first time towing something off-road. Well, I say that, it's not my first time towing off-road, it's my first time towing this trailer off-road. In the new configuration. Before it was a lot taller and it was too top heavy, so I fixed that. But here's a couple mud holes we're gonna go through. Nothing crazy, just drop down in them and pull out. Here's another mud hole. So basically we're just looking at a bunch of mud and some washed out sections. Well, we got past Charlie's Creek and thought we were going to be on a portion called Dick's Creek. Now Dick's Creek happened to be closed, and it looks like it's been closed for a while, to be honest with you. So now we're trying to do a road section to get around that, and where we're going to next is called Dick's Creek Road, not Dick's Creek Trail, and hopefully that'll be open and we can go through that and head on to Helen. We still have quite a ways. We got a 15-mile stretch on Dick's Creek Road, and then I think another maybe 10 miles after that. Well, we went down Dick's Creek Road, and it was about 15 miles long. There is gas along Dick's Creek Road. If you're 2 gas stations is what we passed. The first one's kind of a smaller one, the second one's a nicer one. Make sure you hit those up if you need gas. We sure did. So anyway, we've come to Tray Mountain Road 1, and Tray Mountain Road 1 is closed. So that's kind of frustrating. We have no planning on this trip, as far as nobody really looked ahead sort of thing. So I didn't know what was closed and what's not closed. We're just kind of winging it right now. So it looks like we're going to have to go backtrack and then go down into Helen and find somewhere to camp for the night. So I think we're about maybe 15-20 miles from Helen. Tray Mountain Road 1 was 10 miles, and then I think we were going to hit another road that was going to go down into Helen. Well, because Tray Mountain was closed, we decided this would be the perfect place just to set up camp and camp for the night. Already has a fire pit. Zach's setting up his tent. There's his TJ right there. My LJ, and then my tent set up. Cooking set up. We're going to either be doing maybe steaks. We do have a lasagna. I got an oven for this thing. So I'm pretty excited to start some cooking. I am going to be taking a shower since I got the creek down there. Overall, this should be a pretty good setup for tonight.
Hi everybody, I'm Zach. Day one was a fun trip. I'd say my favorite part was Charlie's Creek, and that started off with water fording and a nice sign sponsored by Quadratech and Tread Lightly and the U.S. Forest Services. That was pretty neat to see. And then we got into some technical spots. Thankfully, we have the equipment that can, I'd say, conquer those obstacles.
How many miles did we go?
Total about 85, 90 miles today. There wasn't enough asphalt to really say that there was too much asphalt. It was kind of just short bits from trail to trail. I'd say day one was a success.
So looking forward to day two. Day two, we're going to go out of here and go into Helen. And I've always wanted to check Helen out. It's like a little Switzerland almost, or Germantown. So we're going to check it out and go tubing, hopefully, on the Chattahoochee. I think it'll be cool. So that'll be day two. Well, we had a wet and rainy night, but it is, I believe, Wednesday. And we just got done taking a shower. There's a shower set up over there because we are parked beside a creek. Everything is just absolutely soaked. There's the oven from last night where we made the lasagna. Only mishap is I accidentally slid the fridge and it was undone. I need to find a better solution for the wires whenever I slide my slide of the bed out. But it was still good. Stuff was still cold. Just the refrigerator, the top fridge wasn't on. Here's my camping shower setup. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. Here's the shower. There's the Jeep. This Bulldog top has really come in clutch on this trip. I love being able to open these windows and just get into the back and not have to climb through the Jeep. I'm glad I didn't switch to a soft top, especially with the amount of rain we've had. But there's right there's the creek. There's where we're getting our water from. We've just been putting it in collapsible 5-gallon buckets, bringing it up here to take a shower. Overall, though, it's going really well. We just ate a bowl of cereal, and now we're about to pack up and head on into Helen. Well, we made it to Helen Tubing, just north of Helen, Georgia. And Zach and I are taking it easy. We're on the Chattahoochee right now, and we're saying if it's hotter than a hoochie's coochie, thanks to Alan Jackson. Guys don't really think about sunscreen. I didn't think about any sunscreen on this trip, honestly, and I'm roasting. Oh, we also have a pushing stick, because apparently you need a pushing stick, and it's already come in handy. So if you come down here tubing and they offer you a $5 stick, get the $5 stick. We were cooking, man. Oh, God. Woo! Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Yeah, right to the tree. Man. So Helen looks to be like one main drag. Then you know, you got some souvenir shops, you got tons of tubing places, the Chattahoochee River runs through it. Here's another souvenir shop that Zach's gonna go into. Well, much like the theme of, you know, this whole trip, it's raining. Raining through Helen, Georgia. It pretty much rains everywhere. Anytime that we'd like to get out of the Jeep, it is raining. Just all kinds of strange German style stuff here. It reminds me of Gatlinburg. Well, we have left Helen and we're on Hatchet Creek Road, and so far we're back to gravel, and we've left the asphalt, thankfully, because that was a 12% grade going from Helen to Hatchet Creek Road, and I'll say that was quite the climb in this TJ, or both these TJs really, but especially towing this trailer behind me. 12% grade was quite the grade going over through there. So anyway, we're back to gravel, and I think it's supposed to turn into a little bit more of a trail here on out. I think there's some river crossings, that sort of thing. I think we might drive a little later and just skip supper tonight. Try to put a little more miles since we spent so long in Helen tubing and just exploring the town. Well, we just climbed a steep mountain pass and come across this sign that says Cooper's Creek Wildlife Management Area. But let's get the trail report from Zach. What kind of hatch pattern are we looking at, Zach?
We're looking at an unmaintained road.
Okay.
High clearance road. This is...
How many miles is it?
Duncan Ridge Road, and it is 7.54 miles.
getting a little muddy. LJ's doing pretty well though. We have pressed on and we are on road FS 640 on the trail map, and it's pretty curvy, and there happens to be some pretty deep mud holes because of all the rain we have. So I'm gonna try to video Zach going through this mud hole here. Well, last night was a late night. We got in here, it was pitch dark, so we used the lights and set up the campsite over here. But we didn't go all out. We just set the tents up and we didn't even cook anything. And now it's raining again. Imagine that. So now we've got everything packed up. It's about 9 in the morning, so we're just gonna continue on the trail until the rain stops. Then maybe eat a bite. We also need to get gas in a little town I think called Maxwell. So anyway, that's the setup. It's all packed up. We're gonna get back on the trail and head back to it. This is day 3. Well, we made it to Sandy Bottoms Recreation Area, and a cool little place. See the river behind us. So it's a cool, neat little pit stop. I say Zach was searching for a geocache up in the woods, and then I'm just kind of hanging out. Somebody lost some oil on the ground, but we're gonna head back to it, hopefully get to Maxwell and get some gas here in the next couple hours, and then continue on the trail. The goal for today is to at least make it to Big Frog Loop. Hopefully we get there. Hopefully we get to start some of it, because I think we're gonna do the north portion, the big portion that goes up and all the way around. So we're going down this little gravel road up for Dancing Water and Bear Creek Highway is what it says on my U.S. Forest Service map. Now I've got the U.S. Forest Service map downloaded, as well as the track that I have for the Traverse on Gaia, and I have that just so I can kind of get an idea of what the road condition might be like. But anyway, it's not been too bad so far. We did stop in Maxwell, I think was the town, and got some gas at a Chevron. And we're just gonna keep going. I think we'll definitely reach Big Frog Loop by today, because it's only about 11:45 at the moment. Right there is Big Frog Loop. You can kind of see the arrow where my vehicle is. So we'll definitely reach that today. I'm not sure what the road conditions getting there will be like, but I don't think they're gonna be that bad. Well, we have made it to the Cohutta and Big Frog Loop. Now, I will tell you, from a soggy bottom down there, that recreation area, all the way to the Cohutta on the Georgia Traverse, I mean, I don't know that I would put a bunch of weight into that, because it's mainly just gravel roads, a couple gravel roads, mainly asphalt. But guess what, it's raining again, and that is it's just soggy, so soggy. Seems like all the time it's raining. But anyway, here's the sign for Watson Gap, the Cohutta Wildlife Management Area, in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service. And here we got the Jeeps. The Jeeps are doing good. Still covered in mud from those windy Forest Service roads we did in the dark last night. I think it was like FS 640 or something like that. Zach's Jeep's doing good. Fun fact about Zach's Jeeps, it has over 240,000 miles on it, and he just sends it. He don't care. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started on Big Frog Loop. Well, we started driving the Big Frog Loop, and it's not bad right now. I mean, this is just, you could tell it's a gravel road, but it's not been maintained in a while. But there's a few little washouts, but nothing crazy. So there has been some down trees. There's been quite a few storms. This is June, so a lot of storms have been going by through here. Some down trees, but it looks like people have already taken care of it. The biggest thing is just how slick and muddy it is. Slick and muddy, and just trying to keep the trailer and Jeep going straight and not swapping ends on more of the technical stuff, not on Big Frog Loop so far. We are east and we're still headed west, and we're going of the north section. You can see it's right there on the map, and we're going to end up over here on the west. Now we're not going to do the full 70 something mile loop. We're only going to do the upper north, probably I would say 40, 50, 60 miles, whatever that north section is. Well, we've made it to the Tennessee side of the Big Frog Loop right there, and we started all the way down here. And we've come across a sign that says road closed at Rough Creek. We really don't know where Rough Creek is, and when I looked at Guy, I couldn't see where Rough Creek was as well. But I don't want to go all the way down this road and then it be closed and have to turn around, and I don't know where Rough Creek is though, or if there's a way around it. So on Guy, we couldn't find Rough Creek, so Zach here is gonna go scout it out, and he's looking right now to see if he sees anything, but we're just not coming up on anything. So he's gonna go up the road, scout it out. For me, it's a little harder to turn around with this trailer, so he's gonna go scout it, and I'm gonna make some burgers in my grill here that's now covered with mud. Oh yeah, look at that. Make some nice burgers on that bad boy. Alright, so let's make burgers for lunch. Well, for some reason I had an issue with my little Coleman grill here, and it's a propane issue because I couldn't get it to light, and I thought the grill might be messed up, but they're so simple. I was like, surely it's not the grill. So I got my little spare like backup propane bottle. Turns out it lit it just fine. So it's something to do with my regulator setup for the propane. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just not, maybe it needs to be cleaned out. Maybe it's dirty up in the connection side. But so anyway, we've got the burgers going, and hopefully we'll have pretty good burgers here in a minute. Well, Zach is back. We have burgers, and he said that the trail is passable for like high clearance stuff. He said there's some washed out ruts and just a little harder than what we've been doing, but he said that it's passable, so from what he's seen, so we're gonna go try it anyway and see what happens. That was a no-go. Rough Creek Bridge actually is out. We got a decent ways up through there, and Pathfinder was coming back down, and so we talked to the guy that was driving it a few minutes, and he verified that Rough Creek Bridge is out, and that you have to go all the way around, a lot of road driving, and right now we're backtracking. And he said that the bridge used to be somewhat passable, but it was kind of sketchy. Well, now the creek has completely washed the bridge out, and there used to be people that tried to go down this 4 or 5 foot ledge and drive through the creek and come back up. Well, now apparently that has been blocked with trees to try to deter people from doing that. So basically you're completely stuck. And we did see a Jeep Gladiator that had to get turned around, and he had made it to that section, and he looked like he was on 35s or 37s, and he couldn't do it. So anyway, right now we're just going back. I guess we're gonna hit the main road and go down to the south section of Big Frog Loop and do the south section since the top part is closed. Well, this is like deja vu. We're back to the Cohutta Wilderness sign that we seen earlier today. And we're gonna be doing the south side of the loop. The only like saving grace out of all this is we had to go through a little town called Ducktown, and I got me a strawberry milkshake. So I'm pretty excited about this milk. Well, I was excited. It's gone now. But anyway, we're gonna go check out the south side, and hopefully there's no closures there. And so far the Jeeps are still doing good, putting a lot more road miles than expected on them. And I mean, this isn't just something that you exit the trail and then you're going 30. No, you exit the trail and you're going like 65 on the highway to get to a town. So it's like a torture test in a different way for these old Jeeps. Well, we traveled down the south section of Big Frog Loop, and it's not as rough as the upper section so far, but there is a little turnout that you come down right there, a little rough right in there, but you come down to this camping area, and perfect for our TJs in the trailer. So we're going to set up camp, and you can just kind of relax, maybe grill something, just have a good time. Well, we made dinner. We have ribeye and macaroni, potatoes. Right there is the finished product. It's looking pretty good. We're going to camp out here tonight, have a good time. May have a few refreshments. Zach over here, how do you like your food? It tastes pretty good.
Oh, it's delicious.
All right. Well, got to keep this fire going, and we'll see you guys a little later on. Well, that was a relaxing and enjoyable night at camp. Now, we're about to pull out of here and go finish what we're doing on this Georgia Traverse. We're going to go up some of the Big Frog Loop and out, and then that's it. We're not going to do the last, like 80 miles, 50 to 80 miles, somewhere around in there. We're not going to do from Dalton west to Alabama because we've been told it's just a lot of pavement. So we're going to jump back up to Tennessee, and we're going to continue the rest of what we're doing on the Georgia Traverse and head on out of here. All right, day 4, leaving camp. There's a good little rutted out section just leaving the campsite right here. We're about an hour and a half into the Big Frog Loop, the south section, past where we camped last night, and it's been not bad. I mean, it's a gravel road. There's a few little washout areas. Pretty much this whole trip's been like that. A few little washout areas here and there. Well, some of them aren't gravel roads, but once we got past really the most southern point, headed west from east, if you look at Big Frog Loop, you'll see in the very bottom tip, the southern point of Big Frog, it has been like really maintained. There are people that are absolutely flying on this road. Now from the southern point east until you exit Big Frog Loop, that was a little more more washouts, that sort of thing. But everything's going good. Got the radio on, guide down here, guy also up here. So what I'm doing is my up close view of guys here, and my overall guy is up here, and it tells me the distance we've traveled, my speed and all that. I went 271 miles. So let me turn this music off real quick. So we went 271 miles, and our elevation right now is 3,500 feet. And over here on my spare phone, my old phone, I just have all my gauges, engine coolant temp, I look out for that. Like my voltage, I'm always watching my voltage, make sure the alternator's putting out what it should be, and my intake air temperature. We are at the West Cowpen check station. We're eating a sandwich, and this is one of the points where we thought about just heading off of the Traverse. I think we're going to go about 10 more miles and maybe get a little further north and try to make up for some of the north side of the Big Frog Loop that we didn't get to do. So we're going to keep on going, and then we're going to exit the Georgia Traverse. Well, we stopped at a gas station because we're airing up with my Morphlate system here. We're going to air both the Jeeps up. But that concludes this trip on the Georgia Traverse. I hope you've enjoyed it. Now, this was, like I said, Burrells Ford Rd to the Big Frog Loop. Now, I've really enjoyed this trip. I'd recommend you guys do it as well. I am kind of excited though. You see how all this mud is on Zach and I's Jeep? I was really thinking my engine bay would be slap covered in it, and I'd have to clean that again, but it's really not. So I'm excited that I don't have to clean the engine bay and degrease and get all the mud out of that. So anyway, I've really enjoyed this trip. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching it. Leave a comment down below if you want to know something more about what we did on this trip, or if you just want to say hi. And when it comes to Jeeps, keep it classic.